The Dodgers are pretty much set roster-wise. How does everybody else stack up around them? I'll be expanding today on my NL power rankings from Dodgers territory on Thursday, which obviously ruffled some feathers because I kind of spoke through some things pretty quickly without really giving it a lot of breath and also forgetting the name. Was it Randy Vasquez of the Padres? Even so, we are expanding on those power rankings. We're also going to be talking about the probably potentially not talked enough Dodger bullpen. Is it good? Is it volatile? Is it a little bit of both? We're going to be diving into that here on this edition of All Dodgers. Coming at you live from my home studio in beautiful La Puente, California. This is the All Dodgers podcast, part of the Bleav Network, presented by FanDuel. My name is Clint Pasillas. Find me as Real FRG on the social media machine. It's a Saturday, so you know that's time for the boys. That is Kevin Skinner. Give him a follow, Skinner7Kevin, on the Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. It's spicy Saturday, Kev, so people can let loose a little. People might say some foul words, so if you guys are watching or listening and don't like your occasional full F-bomb or a shit bomb, thank you for clicking so far, but tune out. Either way, we are free and loose. And how you doing, my boy?
Tired.
Burnout
Cold.
from tennis, huh?
And cold. It's very cold here right now.
Yeah, it's dark outside, so I think that means it's cold in LA, but it's still like 60 something. But guys, appreciate you hanging out in the chat so far. Share the show, all that kind of stuff. I forgot to share it on Twitter, on social media, because I was getting a bunch of things ready. I'm definitely gonna sound dumb. That's what I do on this show. But I want to expand more on the power rankings, and I don't want people to be like, this guy doesn't know anything, he should jump off a bridge. Also, at some point, we will have voicemails. If you guys have your Dodgers thoughts you want to get in, give us a call, 562-373-4095. I will be checking for new voicemails along the way in the show. But you've given your Kyle Tucker thoughts? Have you given you have not given us your post presser Kyle Tucker's thoughts? Like, where are you at with this team right now? Where's Kevin's brain at as a Dodger fan with, what the hell? Oh, you're exploding. You're on fire. Cool.
Apparently no, I mean, it was a good press conference. Honestly, I thought Andrew Friedman's media scrum afterwards was a little more insightful about things.
Yeah.
Doc saying that Tucker's going to bat second or third certainly drummed up some conversation about where he should be batting. I firmly believe he should be batting second. If he's going to bat second or third, I'd rather him bat second instead of replacing Freddie's bat. I'd rather replace Mookie's bat right now. Like, ideally, I'd rather have Tucker bat fifth and then let Mookie try. And then if he's just not getting it done, then yeah, we can shuffle the deck. But it was overall a good thing. It kind of fired me up is he just kind of said everything right. And I like when players just say the right things. Like, press conferences, I've always felt are just more of an opportunity to screw up than it is to do any good. So when a player goes out there and just says the right stuff, I leave it go, cool, awesome.
Yeah, it's definitely hard to mess up a press conference if you get out of baseball cliches, and he was definitely cliche. He's definitely just very much, hey, let's go play baseball, and I think that's what we want. I think that's what his personality is going to be for this team. Let's just go play some baseball, and that's perfect. That's one of the things Jeff and I talked about, is that's exactly what he needs to be. What we want out of him and this team is just be yourself. Go out there, drive in some runs. We don't need to hear a lot from you. It's really not what he's here for. He's here to make a lot of money, for sure.
A ton of money. Yeah, I don't expect him. I still expect Freddie and Max to take down most of, be the vocal leaders, Mookie on occasion. Unfortunately for Mookie, it always kind of seems like when things are going wrong. But I don't expect Kyle Tucker to all of a sudden become this big clubhouse leader. Like you said, it's not what he's here for. He's here to be a good baseball player, and that's what he is. And anything else is just gravy.
Just gravy. I love this from Elisheva. We want that Andrew Friedman bobblehead. I know the organization. I know he wouldn't want it. But man, the Friedman bobblehead in a robe would be
Crazy.
that would be an absolutely elite setup right there. 100 billion%. Well, again, this is Saturday. We're gonna do whatever kind of the Jeff we want. Do you want to just get into power rankings now? Have some conversation and upset some people, because off season is done. Outside of bringing back Kiké Hernandez and your sprinkle of the minor league non-roster invitee dudes that we're gonna still be like, oh, this guy is pretty good. The only thing that's like somewhat newsworthy is Michael Ciani was claimed by the Yankees. So Yankees getting better. They need to stop them. Yankees ruining baseball. But how about them power rankings? Obviously, we talked about this on the Dodgers territory on Thursday. This was the list I presented to Alana Rizzo, Katie Wu. We had a discussion. I made this more for them to talk about. I did inject some opinions in there, and there was a point where I messed up the most was in forgetting a few of the Padres pitchers' names, even though I lost my sheet where I wrote some things down. So it was like I completely spaced on Pivetta. I called Randy Vasquez. I called him Wandy Rodriguez for a second. I don't know. I don't need to care that much about the Padres.
You don't do baseball names here very well.
Yeah,
for
not
a
all
baseball
the time.
show, we really don't.
No, we don't do for baseball names. You don't do Ronnie James Dio very well. This is just part of the show. This is
80s rock bands and baseball names, two things that have in common. We're really bad with them.
But the point is that the Dodgers are done. We know they're ruining baseball. Everybody's playing catch up. And the premise of that segment on DT was the Mets got better. And in my opinion, as you see on the screen, honestly, Cubs, Mets, they are interchangeable to me because they both have their question marks. I'm interested in your opinions based off of my opinions, your opinions, at least of my opinions. I really do like the Cubs. I think the Cubs are a pretty complete baseball team right now. Sorry, your Cubs. I know you're wearing the wrong hat just for this show. The rotation is very good, lacking a little bit of depth. Of course, they add Edward Cabrera this offseason. That's a big addition for them. I think that just it's not an elite rotation, but it is a very good rotation. Got him going along with the resurrected Matt Boyd, who has been pretty dang good for the last couple of years. Jameson Taillon, Cade Horton had himself a year last year. Shota, Mikey Managa, if you're nasty, is back. And then you got other dudes like Colin Ray is somebody who will factor in there. But Justin Steele coming back for the Cubs is eventually going to be a game changer coming back from that Tommy John. Bullpen is an area of concern. And again, either way, all of these teams are playing second runner-up to the Dodgers. I think that's an important conversation. And I'm seeing people, maybe Sam in the chat is right. Padres are not better than the Phillies, Braves, or Brewers. Maybe he is, maybe they are, maybe they are not. I don't know. We'll have that conversation here together. There's a lot of things. I don't like the Padres, but there's a lot of things I like about the Padres as a roster. We'll get into that in a second. But my final thoughts on the Cubs. Bullpen. It's a bunch of no names, which can be fine. Sometimes a problem, but the lineups can put that lineup can put some points on the board. I think Alex Bregman really stretches that lineup out a whole bunch. You still got Ian Happ. You got PCA another year into this league. Dansby Swanson. Nico Horner is a beast, and Michael Busch, Dodgers legend. Defense, I don't know. We don't need to talk too much about defense. It seems solid enough, but there's always that Wrigley factor. But I don't know. Again, I don't like the Cubs, but I'm saying I like the Cubs as a baseball team and as arguably the second best team in the National League. Where am I wrong? What are your thoughts and opinions on Chicago?
I think the Mets are a much better team than Chicago. I like their starting rotation better, especially when you add Freddie Peralta into that mix. The top of the Mets lineup is absolutely filthy. Francisco Lindor, Juan Soto, Bo Bichette, those three clear pretty much every batter on the Cubs roster, in my opinion. But where it gets wonky for the Mets is they're all playing out of position. You have Jorge Polanco at first. You have Bo Bichette at third. Who knows what Brett Beatty, not Matt Beatty, right? It's Brett Beatty, where he's going to play. Mark Vientos is another name that they're not really sure what they're gonna do with him. I think they might stick him in the outfield, but like he's never played in the outfield. So they're kind of doing a Padres thing where they got a million shortstops all playing different positions. But the offensive firepower that the Mets have is pretty gross. I like the front end of their starting rotation. I also like their bullpen a heck of a lot better. You know, they got Devin Williams. You know, if he just throws, you know, the pitch that has a name that's named, if he throws that like he should, he'll be fine. They've got a couple other guys that I'm blanking on. Obviously, they lose Edwin Diaz and Polar Bear, Pete Alonso. I keep wanting to say Pete Armstrong. It's Pete Alonso. Mm-hmm. You lose those two, but they replaced them pretty well. I mean, I think you downgrade a little bit there, but you upgrade with Bo Bichette. It's kind of a wash. I think if the Mets can just stay healthy this year, they'll be really, 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 really good. So I have them over the Cubs. The Cubs rotation just really bothers me. Edward Cabrera is probably looking to be their number one. Maybe Justin Steele will be. But Justin Steele was like a name 2 years ago, but he was just like breaking out onto the scene. Yeah. And so like, who is Justin Steele really? Like we had one good year, maybe two, but it's been a while.
And that's what I was saying with Chicago. It's like it's not an elite rotation. They like they're and
they don't have an elite bullpen either. And I just they're gonna live and die off run prevention because their defense is so good. I mean, Pete Armstrong, Nico Horner, Dansby Swanson are all elite at their respective positions. Ian Happ's, I think, a 2-time Gold Glove winner. I know that doesn't carry a ton of water, but it's something. They're going to live and die off run prevention, playing at Wrigley, and their bullpen not blowing games. Like that. That's just kind of what it's going to come down to. And I don't know if that's going to work over 162. I think if they were able to get a true back of the bullpen piece, then we could have a different conversation. But because of that, I have the Mets clearly ahead of the Cubs.
For me, it's not clearly. I think they are neck and neck, and I have the Cubs just slightly above because they were a 92 win team last year. They're pretty good, and they added. I think for that club and that ballpark, not Bo Bichette, Bregman is a better fit over Kyle Tucker. But that's what they did. They swapped them dudes out and they added Cabrera, and you're going to get a little bit healthier eventually with Steele joining and all that kind of stuff, rejoining that starting rotation at some point. I don't know what his status is. Again, this is a Dodger show, not a Cubs show. But on the Mets side of things, you list a lot of there's good, there's intriguing, there's a lot of questions, a lot of change for that Mets ball club. That rotation is still a bit of a question mark. Serviceable to me, serviceable is the floor for that starting rotation, but only good is the ceiling. Freddie Peralta is the biggest difference maker. Bo Bichette was a panic signing. That was a scramble. Jorge Polanco playing first when you could have just brought back fucking Pete Alonso at some point. Pete just said this. Pete just said, fuck off. I'm out. I want nothing to do with it. Luis Robert, though. If Lou Bob...
Oh, I forgot they even got Lou Bob.
If Lou Bob can do that shit...
Yeah. I don't expect much out of Luis Robert, but he at least helps them in a way. Like, defense doesn't slump. And when the rest of your team, besides Francisco Lindor, is playing out of position or named Juan Soto, having like a bona fide defensive center fielder does a lot for that team. And he's going to be batting like 7th or 8th anyway. So I don't know. I'm not too high on Lou Bob anymore. I don't know if the bat's going to play or what the bat even looks like at this point. But hey, if he slaps the ball around, gets on base, steals 30 bags.
He had a good second half last year, and I think him getting out of Chicago, out of the South Side, and actually playing for something will go a long way for him. Absolutely. The Enigma talking about, bro, what is it with you and Lou Bob? Listen, I just want Luis Robert to have himself a fair opportunity to play some baseball, to play some like meaningful baseball. I think he very much needs it. To button up the Mets side of things, and again, these 2 and 3, they are just completely interchangeable to me. Dodgers rotation is elite. Theirs is good at best, good as the ceiling, and Devin Williams, that's a step down from Edwin Diaz. Like, they got worse on paper, but if they can figure out, if they could chip into some of that Toronto friendship. Maybe they'll figure some things out instead of fighting about New York Rats and all this. But still, the important thing is they are not.
They did add Luke Weaver too. That's another name. I mean, it's a deep enough bullpen. Dodgers legend Luis Garcia, Tobias Myers is going to be in that bullpen probably. He's not terrible. He's actually he could also probably just be their swingman. So they have a pretty deep bullpen headlined by Devin Williams and maybe Luke Weaver if he can figure it out. It's a clear strength for the Mets over the Cubs, like 100%. And yeah, the lineup for the Mets is, I just think, far superior.
Yeah, we got more power rankings talk to get into. Obviously, we're going to ruffle some feathers when we're talking about the Padres. Guys, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, all that kind of stuff. I wanted to make sure we fired off an early voicemail. If anybody listened to the Wednesday edition of the show, you know there was a little bit of a gauntlet thrown down by our friend Richie Flores. Richie told Jeff, hey, If you're on the Saturday show and you listen to my voicemail, I'm going to give the show, or I'm going to give you $200 or whatever it was. Guys, look who it is. Look who it is. There is
so happy to be here.
There is a surprise Jeff Snydog Snyder here on a Saturday, and he really wants to know. Jeff, hold on. How excited are you to listen?
I like $200 a lot, so yeah, I'm pretty excited.
Here's Richie putting his money where his mouth is. This is what Richie had to say in the voicemail hotline.
Well, hey, Clint. Happy Saturday to you. Now that Bo Bichette, Kyle Tucker, and Cody Bellinger are with their new teams and everything's safe until the trade deadline and hopefully the 2027 offseason, it's time to get to the real stuff. I need to get several things off my chest. For starters, going to the local AM/PM. Since when it is the law to when I show up to pump gas and all the gas pumps are occupied and noticing very quickly that half the people that are parked at a pump are inside getting their cancer sticks, getting their Gatorade, getting their tall boy of Corona or whatever it is that they drink. Well, I'm sitting out there waiting for these assholes to come back with my finger up my ass and still pondering the fact that I still got another hour and a half on the I-10 eastbound freeway because the DeVore Man Cave is all the way up in the middle of nowhere, but I chose to live there, so I get the points, but I digress. And then if you finally get into the AM/PM because you want to go in there and get your Twinkies or whatever, but we'll always find a parking spot after I'm done pumping my gas. And then I get stuck behind Lotto Ticket Guy. You know Lotto Ticket Guy, right? The guy that goes up there and has all the scratchers and wants the clerk to check and see how many of these are $2 and $3, only to turn around and use that money to buy more scratchers, but then sits there with his finger up his ass because he can't decide which one.
A lot of fingers
and
up
finally,
some asses.
When you're on the 210 freeway going home or the 10 or whatever freeway you want, then you get stuck behind the guy who's driving about 4 miles an hour in the fast lane and everybody's going by him, but you can't go by him because everybody's going by so fast, you can't make a safe lane change. And then when you finally are able to make that lane change, we all do it. And if you say you don't, you guys are lying. We always have to look into the car to see who the driver is. And they all have that same look on their face. Constipated. I quote Crash Davis from Bull Durham. I'm dealing with a lot of shit here, Clint. So fuck the Dodger Stadium parking lot. Fuck Journey because I want Steve Perry back. Fuck the Padres. Fuck the Teeth, Schilt, and Profar. And for the love of God, fuck the Ghost Runner. Yeah.
What's that line from Billy Madison? At no
Simple
point.
know what it's.
At no point during
the course of your rambling, incoherent response, you ever close anything that even resembled a rational thought. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
I know everyone. You forgot the best part. Everyone in here is now dumber for having listened to you. I award you no points.
Listen, we've all been there trying to pump some gas. I just don't go to that particular gas station when it's busy. That's my thing. I'll try to find another pump. I don't let it get to empty. But Jeff, do you feel enlightened now? Are you ready to live your Saturday to its fullest?
Yeah, I feel about $200 richer, I guess. No, I engaged in active listening. I got gas this morning. I went to Walmart, and
Ooh, not a
because
sponsor.
well, and I'll tell you why I went there. I never go to Walmart to shop. I don't like that store, but I went there because there's no convenience store to go inside of when you're pumping your gas. And so people get their gas and then they leave. That's why it's Walmart or Costco for me for gas, because Costco's even better because they got like armed guards there saying, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. And so,
And the
works.
pumps reach both sides. They got the long,
Yeah,
they got the
Costco's got
extended
the-
extendo mags, so you can.
And
Because you're
yeah,
kind of stuck in those lines. Yeah, you need that. You need the double ender or the long pump, long hose.
yeah.
Anyway.
And and I didn't realize that AMPM had that policy of what you had to do with your finger while you were waiting. But you know, and I will say, driving on the freeway is hard at Richie's age, so I feel bad for him at that.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy you're able to experience that with us and give us your because it is Saturday. Give us your cleanest foul expression you got before we let you go. Is it like, oh, the raspberries?
No, actually,
Son of a biscuit.
The one I say,
like-
I generally say, blast it all. Like, as if I'm a
Golly.
185-year-old man. I had a roommate in college who genuinely said golly Ned. And so sometimes I say golly Ned. It started at making fun of him, but now it actually comes out unironically sometimes. But usually it's blast it all.
We gotta get you on the dadgummit train.
Yeah.
Oh, I do say dadgummit.
Yeah, that one-
actually a lot.
Yeah.
That
one I've heard.
started. Yeah, back in 2000 during the pandemic, my brother and I did a podcast for like 19 episodes where we were just talking about our childhood and stuff. And in one episode, we were talking about watching Bonanza growing up and Haas saying, "Dad gummit paw," and ever since, and "Dad gummit paw," I say a lot. So yeah, "Dad gummit paw" and "blast it all" are probably my two most common.
That's 1 and 2 in your power rankings.
Yeah, and then if I'm upset at myself about something, like playing softball and I hit a pop up, it's usually "Come on, Jeffrey." So
Full name, yep.
yeah. I mean, I got to let myself know I'm serious.
Son of a biscuit, shucks.
Yeah,
Golly gee
and
willikers.
yeah.
Well,
My son has started saying "gee whiz," and I like that.
That's a good one.
By the way, there was a few people. I think Noah was leading the charge in this in the chat. $1.99 super chat. Thank you very much, Noah. Saying the cap is backwards for Jeff, and he thinks you're a clone.
Clint hasn't earned these gray hairs.
No.
That's how you know it's me.
Still there.
I am
Still
wise
not-
and
still not there
elderly.
yet. I'm still but a young, supple 40-year-old boy.
I don't know wise.
I don't think "supple's the word you want to use there
No,
ever.
no. Ample?
Ever. You are definitely ample.
All right.
You are sufficient.
We're gonna get back into our power rankings, but thanks for stopping by, and we'll, let's see if the check's in the mail.
Pay up, bro.
That was everybody's favorite.
Post-date the check.
Post-date the check. Well, there was one of the chats that I had put up that said that Richie's deferring the payment, so I appreciated that one. No, that's fun. I mean, Jeff hasn't had to listen to a voicemail in a while, so it's good to have him experience that a little bit as well. And you know what? I mean, we're all here to be Richie's therapy about the AM/PM. Sometimes you just got to get some things off your chest when the Dodgers are as good as they are.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he's got to complain about something. Can't be the roster.
$2 from Seth saying, nice to see Jeff on a Saturday. We appreciate Jeff hanging by before having to go do dad things. But how about we get back into the power rankings here? Back to the lecture at hand. We left off. Let's talk about the Padres. Number 4 for me are the Padres. And again, people are going to be upset about this, and potentially rightfully so. The biggest question for me is, can they play together? Can this team... they scared off their manager in Mike Schilt. We had the report this week that he basically quit mid-season, and it shows. It 100% shows. They still ended up a wild card team, still won 90 games last year. They are, out of all the baseball teams that played baseball last year, they are one of them. The rotation is solid. It's like I don't know. I don't want to give it too much. It's the rotation is better than what we all think. It's a very good rotation. Joe Musgrove, and again, these are all that I actually wrote out the names to make sure I remembered them all this time because I had Musgrove and King, and then I blanked. But Nick Pivetta had himself a phenomenal season last year with that team. Randy Vasquez, very very good lefty in that starting rotation. The knuckleballer with Matt Waldron, very good pitcher. JP Sears, and then it kind of stops there though. Like, is it an elite rotation? Absolutely not. It is not an elite rotation, but it's a pretty damn good rotation. It's serviceable, and you know that bullpen is going to be good once again, even with Robert Suarez gone. Has he signed anywhere yet, by the way? Suarez?
Yeah, he signed with
I forget where. Somewhere.
Atlanta? Right? He signed
No,
with
that
Atlanta.
was Iglesias. Or was it both?
think it was
Well,
both.
if you're going to look it up. You're going to look it up then. But they still got Mason Miller. You still got Adrian Morahone, Jason Adam returning from
Atlanta.
He is at Atlanta. Oh, Atlanta's got a pretty good bullpen. All right. It makes a little bit of sense here, by the way, to mix in some FanDuel odds here. I was a little shocked to see the Braves getting as much love. This is the projected odds makers talking about who's going to win the NL pennant. Dodgers plus 120 favorites, but the Braves being in there, plus 750 in third in the National League, it just felt weird to me. I don't think they're that kind of ball club. They were booty last year, fourth place in the NL East at 76 wins. The Marlins were better than the Braves. And I don't know that the two relievers they added in Iglesias and now Suarez, I don't know that puts them over the top. Ha-Sung Kim is going to miss months now with that hand injury. I don't buy the Braves. I think that needs a change. We'll talk to somebody at FanDuel to get that changed real quick. But hey, all the teams I got listed outside of the Braves, though, they're right there in the top, 6 teams here. Brewers, for me, just outside because you can't trade away your ace again. After leading the league in wins, they trade away Freddie Peralta. What is you doing, baby? But anyways, shout out FanDuel for being a presenting partner on the show. They like the Braves. I don't, but it is what it is. But yeah, the Padres, again, they got a lot of talent. You got all those veterans. You got Manny. You got Xander. You got... you still got, what's his name? Cronenworth. They really like Freddie Fermin as their catcher. The kid, Jackson Merrill, in center. Of course, you got, Ringworm himself, Fernando Tatis. It's a good enough ball club. I think the Phillies took some steps back this winter by not taking some steps forward. And that's why I have the Padres above the Phils, above the Brewers, above the Braves. Because the biggest issue with the Padres is just them getting out of their own way and actually learning to not just play Manny ball. Don't just play Manny ball. Like, play as a team. They needed to get a better manager. The manager is another thing that probably should knock them down about 10 spots. Because Craig Stammen? Really?
Craig Stammen, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
They should have hired Boshi. Boshi would have went in there and fucking knocked some heads together.
Yeah, so there's at a point we've been saying for however many years, they just need to play together. They need to do this. Maybe this is just who they are.
They're not, yeah.
And I'm not getting Michael King to stay was a big boon for them. I know I was talking to my friends about that, and I was shocked when he signed. Good contract for them. It's basically a 1-year deal, but they get him for a year. Darvish will come back after 2026. So
I think he was out. I think he's done.
He says he's going to try. So we'll see what happens. The starting pitching is definitely a problem. They're going to keep relying on Nick Pivetta to be their number 3. Again, we don't know what Joe Musgrove's going to look like coming off TJ. At least they have an elite bullpen. I'm just out on the Padres a little bit insofar as I think other teams in the National League just got a lot better. The Braves rotation is nasty. You have Chris Sale, Spencer Schwallenbach, Spencer Strider. That's a nasty top 3. And then you add Robert Suarez to the back end of that bullpen along with Raisel Iglesias. It's a good bullpen. Drake Baldwin balled out, National League Rookie of the Year, rightfully so. What's the sophomore year going to look like? Is he going to hit a sophomore slump? Even if he does, their backup is Sean Murphy. That's a pretty good backup to have. I like the Braves if they can stay healthy. They were injured or on the PED list if you're looking at Jerks and Profar. I like the Braves. I don't think you can count on a team ever whose top three is some combination of Ronald Acuna Jr., Matt Olson, and like Austin Riley, Jerkson Profar, if he can somehow recreate what he did in that last year in San Diego. I like the Braves, but I have the Brewers fourth.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because so everybody's talking about how they got rid of Freddie Peralta. Last year they got rid of both Corbin Burns and Willie Adames, and we're better.
Man, at some point though, that bubble needs to burst. Like
I
lucking
don't
their
think
way.
so.
You go to MLB.com, you look at their depth chart. It literally has Quinn Priester, Jacob Mizorowski, end of list as their starting rotation.
Oh, and they also have there's one other player. I can't remember his name right now. He was actually pretty good for them. Hold on, let me pull up their roster.
Was it Grant? Wasn't it Grant Anderson? I think that was their other guy.
Oh, they're getting Brandon Woodruff back.
Oh yeah, but still, I mean, hasn't Woodruff been gone for like 2 years at this point now?
Yeah,
if you're talking about being worried about Joe, not worried, but like having question marks about Joe Musgrove coming back from an injury.
Yeah, but Brandon Woodruff's gonna be he's one more proven than Joe Musgrove in my opinion. Also, he's gonna be their number 3, number 4, depending on what they want. I like their bullpen, Abner Uribe, Trevor McGill. We saw what those two can do to a team. Aaron Ashby, DL Hall. The trade piece they got back in the Devin Williams trade.
None of those guys scare me.
They were good against the Dodgers. It's just that we just got to their starting pitching. It's still a good bullpen. They're a pitching factory. They will find their next, whatever starting pitcher. And their lineup is still really, really, really good. So I have Milwaukee up there because I think there's just devil magic in Milwaukee. Yeah. And then I'd have Atlanta. I'd have the Padres out probably somewhere. And then I'd have the Phillies behind the Padres. I'm with you. I think the Phillies took a massive step back. Losing Ranger Suarez is no joke. Yeah. They're going to rely on Andrew Painter to, be something next year, which is a lot to ask of a rookie. Yes, Zach Wheeler and Christopher Sanchez are completely filthy. They're totally nasty.
Yeah, top end of their rotation is exceptional with Wheeler, with Sanchez. You still have Jesus Lizard in there. Aaron Nola needs a return to being Aaron Nola.
That's asking a lot because he's older. But Andrew Painter is going to have to, be a guy for that team. And I just don't like that their offseason additions were guys they already had. They're running back basically the same lineup.
Yeah. By the way, they straight up fucked up the Real Muto free agency. That's embarrassing. That is a dude who's kind of like a franchise catcher at this point.
You kind of keep
and be like, hold on, we want to see if we can get somebody else sexier than you first before we let you back in, baby boo. That's dumb. You still need to figure out second and third. They are not sold on Alec Boehm. I don't think anybody is. Bryson Stott is should be more of a utility guy than your everyday dude. Maybe Edmundo Sosa takes a leap forward for them, but you don't have an outfielder. You are missing a center fielder right now because looking at their depth chart as well here, depending on what you think of Otto Kemp, Brandon Marsh can't play left field and center field at the same time, and they very much would love to get out from under Nick Castellanos.
He's gone,
isn't he? He's not been traded yet.
As far as I'm aware,
they want him.
They're
gone.
done with him.
Yeah, but he is still on their roster. He's still on the roster. It's still a very good ball club. Their big move this offseason was adding, non-tendered Adolis Garcia or Adolis, whatever you want to call him. Adding him, who he's a long way removed from 2023 in just those two very short years. So all of these clubs on the screen, they have question marks. They have issues. With the Padres, they don't have either a second baseman or a first baseman right now. Are they going to bring back? Are they going to bring back
catching?
Well, catching is solid enough. I mean, I like Fermin. I like Campusano, but are they going to bring back Luis?
Bad. Campusano was like unplayable last year. He can't defend
he's a backup. He's really going to be the backup. Listen, their strength should not come from hitting prowess should not come from their catcher. They have Manny Machado. You have Xander Bogaerts. You have Jackson Merrill. You have,
both Bogaerts and Machado are another year older.
And Fernando Tatis. Like they should be able to get their Offense. They just need to be better than 4 or 3 other teams in the National League West. That's their goal. They're not going to slay the dragon in the NL West this year. They just need to be good enough, but they need to sign somebody. You probably need somebody better than Luis Ariz. But again, all of these clubs have question marks. They have the most complete ball club, in my opinion. The team with the fewest question marks are the Chicago Cubs, and that's why I have them second. Everybody else has something wrong. Mets playing together, and
if the biggest question mark is
not
defense,
being a cunt, apparently.
If your biggest question mark is your defense, I can be fine with that, because that's the Dodgers' biggest question mark for a while was their defense, and they just won back-to-back World Series, trotting out an outfield that consisted of Teoscar Hernandez and Michael Conforto for the end. I'm fine with it. Max Muncy at third base isn't blowing anybody away at this point. Like, he's good, he's serviceable, but that's what he is. I like Max, but like, if that's your issue is defense, sign me up. It's so much better than having no bullpen, no starting pitching, or a suspect lineup.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe we're wrong about all these. I feel I have enough confidence in my list to at least have some of these names somewhere in the top 5 by the end of the season when it comes to wins in the National League.
I think the Braves should be in there somewhere. But yeah, I think these are definitely going to be. Yeah. I mean, these are all playoff teams, most likely, unless barring injuries. Of course, there's that giant, huge caveat. Injuries happen. Who knows? Like,
of the other teams too, like teams that could kind of be, sneaky. They could be sleepers. Diamondbacks, they're still kind of around. That requires a lot of lifting. Not till like mid-season, I think. That requires a lot of lifting out of Nolan Arenado to be, like 80% of what he once was.
I forgot.
The Giants are always going to be intriguing. I just don't know what the hell they're doing there. Yeah, they got a solid rotation.
Good top of the lineup. They're finally out from Yastrzemski, which I think is good for them. I think he needed a change of scenery as well. He's in Atlanta. He's batting, 8th or 9th in that club. That's probably a little bit better for him. He doesn't have to be the guy. What does Jung-Hoo Lee look like? I don't know. The Giants are going to be interesting. They're going to be annoying. They're always annoying.
Yeah, I mean, a full season of Rafi Devers at first. Willie Adames playing, short there.
Matt Chapman.
And then Matt Chapman. Yeah, again, it's a good ball club. I think they could sneak up. But they went 81-81 last year. They're going to be an off-season better. They're out from under the tyranny of Bo Mel up there as well, because apparently everybody hates Bob Melvin when he's not managing the Oakland Athletics. I don't know.
What a weird career arc
that
Bob Melvin has had.
Where they're like, man, this guy is the man. And then he just got also, much like Mike Schilt, destroyed by the Padres and the Manny effect. Seth Klein hit us much earlier. We're going to get into more of the chats and less of us just talking that. But $5 from Seth Klein. NL East will be a bag of wet cats fighting this year. And who doesn't love wet cats? Pause for effect. It's Saturday, man.
Yeah. But yeah, I think the NL East will be what people thought the NL West would be last year. It's going to be a lot of – I mean, I think the Mets will end up running away with the division, but there will be a lot of jockeying around for that second, third spot. Can't count out the Phillies lineup. I mean, Trey Turner, Bryce Harper –
Schwarber,
Kyle Schwarber, Schwarber coming back. I don't understand Kyle Schwarber, but the dude's incredible. So he's just a baseball enigma to me. I don't get it. Dude just rakes.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can't count those guys out. I like the Braves if they're healthy. That's a big cap. I mean, if they're healthy, and that's a team that has Chris Sale and Ronald Acuna Jr. on it. So.
Yeah, Acuna can't stay healthy, and that their entire starting rotation can't stay healthy. They just have a problem here.
What does Spencer Strider look like?
$4.99 much earlier. A couple of them from our friend the Enigma. He's got in very tiny letters. Let's go ahead and embiggen this soul. Dodgers 1, Phillies 2, Mets 3, Padres 4. Cubs 5, and then on the AL side, which I planned on talking about the AL here, but I don't know. I feel like we'll gloss over the AL. Maybe we'll deep dive later. But for him, Blue Jays, Mariners, Red Sox, Rangers, Orioles. I don't know about the Red Sox being 3.
Not having the Yankees in the top 5.
Well, he also followed up with another $4.99 saying, hot take, Yankees going to miss the playoffs. AL East is too good. I don't know that the Yankees missed the playoffs.
So. No, they're getting Garrett Cole back.
Yeah, you're getting Garrett Cole
one of the best pitchers in baseball back.
Boston, I don't know. Like, maybe, I mean, Boston, obviously, they had some young pitching, and they have a lot of bodies that they need to figure out, like, positions for.
If they end up trading one of their outfielders and get, starting pitching or a bullpen piece back, that's pretty nasty. Now we're looking pretty good. They still got to roll this Chapman.
Yeah. Hey, can we have a dialogue about the most unsignable player in baseball? Most unsignable free agent right now, Framber Valdez.
Like, touch it with 39.5 foot pole.
I think he blacklisted himself with that incident, which was the most blatant, like, intentional cross up of all time.
That you can't do that in the middle of a game, man.
Like, imagine any of these NL clubs we have on the screen. Imagine any of those teams adding Valdez to that rotation. All of us, Padres adding Valdez and getting a first baseman. The Mets adding Valdez, something like that. The Brewers, which of course they would not because they just traded away Freddie Peralta for money reasons. And honestly, it's probably going to be a good deal for them because of the names they got back. But still. Yeah. But
I don't know how you sign Valdez. The Padres they seem like a team that would sign him, that would sign Framber, but it's like, do you really want to add that personality to that clubhouse? Like, you just, powder keg meet match, maybe? I don't know. Like, it could be really bad, but I mean, he would make every team on this list better, no doubt. It just you just can't do that in the middle of a game. Like, if it was
bad, that's bad.
If it's off the field in the clubhouse, like, yeah, you can probably sweep that under the rug. But crossing
in the clubhouse, hey, I'm gonna hit you with the baseball right now because I'm upset at me giving up a grand slam.
Yeah, and even though the catcher told him to step off to not give up the grand slam, that's
it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing stuff. I hope people are enjoying every other team talk here on All Dodgers so far. I'm having fun with this. I think, how much are we going to talk about Kyle Tucker and the lineup and all this kind of stuff again? We do have coming up
23.
The real number 23. We do have some actual Dodgers talk coming up in a second with bullpen talk, because I just want to talk about the bullpen. But to button up what we're talking about here and getting back into like what the Enigma said on the AL side, Blue Jays, yes, Mariners, right there. I would definitely, I think I would put the Yanks above the Sox because of that rotation. You got Garrett Cole joining Max Fried. Not having Clark Schmidt is a big blow for them, but Max Fried, Garrett Cole, the lefty, former Giant dude, I can't remember his name right now.
Oh, Carlos Rodon.
Yeah, Carlos Rodon has been honestly decent-ish for them. Bullpen.
They traded for Ryan Weathers. He's a name.
He is a name. They probably need a little more bullpen help, even though they think they have a bullpen there. But any team that has Aaron Judge is just going to be fine.
Their top 6 is gross. I mean, granted, that's also accounting that Trent Grisham can somehow still be whatever he was last year.
Yeah.
But Trent Grisham, Aaron Judge, Belly, Ben Rice, Giancarlo, and Jazz Chisholm.
I still can't believe they gave him a qualifying offer.
I know.
How do you not know he's going to accept whatever it is, $22 million?
I know.
And then bringing back Belly, though, like that was
huge. If they don't bring back Belly, then the team kind of falls off. But getting him back on that deal, you got the Kyle Tucker treatment, right? He's got opt-outs after the second and third year.
I do wonder about I'm going to put this back up because the Enigma pretty much laid out the AL for us. Mariners, I also wonder about because you did lose Polanco and they have not brought back Suarez, so you still need a little bit of. Back. I mean, Gino Suarez was a huge mid-season addition for that ball club. Like he was
bad for them though. At the end of the year, he was
still like really he also bad. Didn't he have like a pretty big dinger in one of their playoff games?
Against the Blue Jays.
Yeah.
He did. Especially because that lineup just has no pop generally. Like my one Mariners friend always complains about the lack of offense from Seattle. So losing Polanco, losing Gino, all of a sudden don't have much of an offense. You did bring back Josh Naylor, which is huge for them.
Yeah.
He was good for them.
Solid, yeah.
He was good. Big dumper. I'm blanking on his name right now.
Cal Raleigh.
Yeah. Cal Raleigh. I got there eventually. He's really good. He's good. He's good with the bat. He swings stick really good.
What I love about all of this though is we're talking about all these teams and we're trying to manufacture strengths, and we know some of their weaknesses and presumed weaknesses and question marks and all of that. And then we think about the Los Angeles Dodgers and how just flippin' good that roster is, top to bottom. I mean, when the question marks for the Dodgers are center field and a player coming off of 770 OPS, 27 homers, 86 RBI in his second season, where he also got a second full season as a big leaguer, where he also got better at the position he was playing. Yes, he would be much better in right field. We know this, but he is at this point a serviceable enough center fielder. Give me current Andy Pages, and he's working on bettering himself as a player. Give me current Andy Pages versus like early young center field Jock Peterson. That was a
thing that happened.
It was a thing. It was a bit of an experience. Matt Kemp used to play center field for the Dodgers, and we were like, fuck yeah, Matt Kemp is the shit in center field. He was never really a center fielder. He won a Gold Glove as a center fielder because he hit 39 homers. So got that going for him.
The Enigma with 199 Super Chat says y'all are underestimating Boston's rotation. It's a good rotation.
I think he's underestimating the Yankees' rotation.
I think so. I mean, Garrett Crochet, if his arm stays attached to his body, that'll obviously he's really good. 37-year-old Sonny Gray, sure, he's not bad. They have another. They signed Ranger Suarez.
The AL East. Yeah,
Ranger Suarez chucking 90 miles an hour hard at you. Yeah, he's good. I don't know. I mean, it's a fine rotation. Brian Bayo, it's okay. I think Garrett Crochet does a lot of heavy lifting for that rotation.
Yeah. And he's also got to make sure he stays healthy. He had a really good, healthy season last year. Does he follow it up? Can he follow it up? $2 from our buddy Seth Klein saying Clint's still censoring himself on Spicy Saturday. I felt like flipping was the right word right there.
I agree.
Yeah, it felt like it fit better. That's what she said. Gedez? Yeah, whoever this is. Gedez. GIDEZ1. Appreciate you hanging out with us in the chat. Sorry if I'm butchering your username there, but
Guide Zone?
What?
Is it Guide Zone?
Z-O-N-E. If it is, if that's some I don't think it's that. But anyways, $4.99 super chat from this fine user of the chat saying, what about a trade for Jarren Duran, prospects, Dalton Rushing, Teoscar Hernandez? They want to move off of his contract. I if I'm being honest, I would not hate it. I don't know that I love it. Like in a vacuum, I think for this roster, Jarren Duran could, if he hit right-handed, it'd be even better, but he could fit better than Teo. But also, how good was Teoscar Hernandez for this team in 2024? I think he can find something. And even before he injured himself last year, he was fucking killing it when it's coming to like having that clutch gene on him. But the clutch gene, I think that's just always something that's going to pull me back to Teo. What he brings to that clubhouse, as we know, we're like Jarren Duran seems to have, he's kind of
French would call a certain, I don't know what.
He brings certain qualities that elicit headlines and things written about him that I would much rather avoid. And then Dalton Rushing, that's another kid that needs to take a huge step forward this year as well. So I don't hate it in a vacuum, but
I'm out on Jarren Duran.
I think I'm curious. I've been saying it for a while. I really want to see this roster that we have as is start to do something. I want to see them play baseball. We are less than a month away. We're like 3-4 weeks away from spring training starting and
we got the WBC coming up too.
Yeah, WBC. Somebody had said in the chat much earlier about looking forward to the WBC for sure.
Me too.
That's going to be fun. That's going to be exciting.
And the Dominican team is filthy. Oh my goodness.
We got this from Yang Yi as well. You know, Dominican's taking some steps back though, for sure. That U.S. team is really good for the first time in a while. But do we think
Mookie's not
Muncy?
playing on it, right?
No, because they're having like their 18th kid or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
third kid.
he wanted. Yeah,
Young
it's
Yi
their
asking,
kid.
do we think Muncy will platoon with Rojas at third? I don't think.
I
that'll be
think
the
that's
plan.
where. I don't think it's going to be a hard platoon, but I do think that will be where Miguel Rojas gets the most of his playing time. Will be spelling Max Muncy a little bit. I mean, because honestly, I could see Miguel Rojas getting some at bats against right-handed pitching, just because I think they're going to want to keep Max as healthy as possible. Max has had that oblique flare up on him a couple years in a row now. I like that's a scary injury. It lingers. That's
I mean,
no joke.
luckily they've figured out some things about that and kind of some of the workouts and rotational bullshit he needs to do to get like through that or past that. But I agree. Like I am a fan of Miggy Rowe at third. 100%, and I think it won't be a true platoon. It definitely won't open the season as a platoon. We're probably going to see a lot of Miggy Rowe at second base to open the season, if we're being honest, because Tommy Edman is likely going to miss some time.
They already said he's not going to be ready for opening day. Kiké's not around, so Miggy Rowe's going to be your everyday second baseman most likely.
Continuing on with some of the power rankings talk, our buddy Phil in the chat, who has been a member of the channel for 16 months, celebrating that. Appreciate you, Philip. Fountain saying, aside from the Dodgers and the NL West, teams have all taken a step back. I agree. Brewers took a step back. Phillies are starting to get the Mets. The NL is ours. Yeah, I feel really, really strongly about the Dodgers bringing home another pennant. Again, I'll put these back up. The latest odds for the National League winner from FanDuel, Dodgers plus 120 favorites, and the field is well behind them. I guess you can't really make them like minus favorites because baseball has to baseball, but
I mean, in a 7-game series, though, the Mets and the Braves and the Phillies, they're still all scary. Like those, I still wouldn't want to play any of those teams in a 7-game series because anything can happen. They have good enough rotations to win 4 games.
Biggest thing for the Dodgers, you said it for a number of the teams here. Biggest thing for the Dodgers, stay healthy. You just got to stay healthy. If you have a rotation of here, I'll throw the screen up to cheat a little bit because I do want to talk bullpen a little bit. Maybe we don't. Maybe we back pocket the bullpen talk and have that with Jeff at some point this week or something like that. Have all of us talking about it because bullpen's gonna be good, but it has some definitely a potential volatility to it. But you're looking at that starting rotation, the depth side of the starting rotation for this team. Those top 4 dudes with Yoshi, Blake Snell, Shohei Ohtani, Tyler Glasnow. Those are gonna be the guys that they 100% want starting games in the postseason. But if it's not all them, I won't be upset at a Sheehan or a Gavin Stone. River Ryan getting a look. I think River Ryan could be one of those sneaky postseason like legends with just his stuff and the poise of what he brings to the table. And then who knows what Roki Sasaki looks like in year 2. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Shohei Ohtani was not a great pitcher when he first started. It's a
huge
leaguer.
adjustment.
It's a big adjustment, but all of that depth, all of those names, feels really, really good. Feels really, really good to be a Dodger
we'll
fan.
just give it 2 months or whatever, and we're all going to talk about how the rotation's in shambles, and we had to go sign the corpse of Lance Lynn to start some games for us.
Can we make Lance Lynn like another? Can we put him? I'll say it now, but can we put him in the same category as you can't say Lance Lynn, and we also have to ban Michael Conforto from the show?
I just love that Lance Lynn started a playoff game. I can't.
And you notice one name who's completely not on this list, Bobby Miller, despite the fact I put Paul Gervais on this list, but I did not put Robert Miller. Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah,
Stanley, not a fan of
spring training is going to be huge for Bobby Miller if he wants anything to do with the major league roster. Like usually you don't really care about spring training results. His spring training results are very much going to matter on where he ends up playing any of this season.
Yeah. Mr. Graham, Lance Lynn just gave up another homer. Didn't he give up a homer to, like, his wife in their home simulator or something like that?
Probably.
Swollen Sausage pointing out the chat. Super chats guarantee a response. So the software highlights super chats for us. So, like, we don't miss those. Otherwise, we're like, if we're talking and then there's something happening in the chat, like, it can be difficult to find specific things. So you could, if you really want something read and aren't able to or willing to super chat, post it a few times. We will always try to find them. Swollen Sausage also reminds people, hammer that like button, guys. Like the show, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Appreciate you here. To make this a light bullpen conversation, just so I'm not I can keep the title and the thumbnail the same. Biggest question marks for me are going to be Blake Trinan. How long does Anthony Banda survive the roster? And that's, like, I will always say, it's not an indictment on Anthony Banda. It's more about the strength of this roster, of this pitching staff. And listen, I got Justin Wrobleski down, fifth on the lefty reliever side of things. Guy is arguably the second, maybe the best lefty reliever in that bullpen. When you're talking about pure stuff, 97 and all this
pure stuff, sure.
Disgusting, sweeper, slider, whatever you want to call it. But Tanner Scott gets paid a lot of money, and he needs to and is expected to rebound. Alex Vesia has been just an absolute beast and dog for this team. And Snafu pointing out no Phillips on that list. Hey, he's a free agent. He's not here yet. I did think about throwing him on.
He could sign anywhere. I
still
don't expect him to,
but with the bullpen though, like, there's a lot of strength. There's definitely some volatility. Absolutely.
Volatility. I mean, Tanner Scott, what does he look like? Year 2 with the Dodgers. Is he closer to what he was with San Diego and Miami, or is he closer to what he was, last year? Granted, thankfully, the depth now is, as it stands, we don't need him as bad. That postseason run last year definitely missed Alex Vesia. I mean, he's just kind of the stabilizing force in this bullpen. Also, is Brusdar Graterol alive? Do we know?
Yeah, he's ready. He's throwing. He's expected to be full, like no limitations, no restrictions at the start of spring training. He's posting videos of himself, throwing at spring training and all that kind of stuff. Throwing at Camelback Ranch because it's not spring training yet. He'll be ready. He'll be good to go.
I mean, if he's actually ready and throwing, I'm excited to have him back. He's another guy. This stuff is gross, and I feel better about having a ground ball pitcher like him with our current defensive iterations than I was in the past when you had Trey Turner at shortstop, Max Muncy just learning third base or even at second. So with Mookie sitting there and Miguel Rojas and, Muncy with a few years under his belt at third, I really like having Brusdar back in this lineup or in the rotation.
Yeah.
Or in the bullpen.
In the bullpen.
I got there eventually.
We found the right words. Yeah. Like if Trinan continues his slide, and we got a super chat from Seth, $2 from Seth saying hot take, Trinan is done. If he's done, I'm expecting, Brusdar to be back, even though he's missed most of the last 2 years. He showed up when it mattered most in 2024 and helped the Dodgers win that World Series as part of the Dogs. And, expecting some. Yeah, dude, I love that kid. I miss him so much. And
thanks, Minnesota.
For real. Taking some steps forward, more steps forward for Ben Kasparius, a complete season for him. Leave him in the fucking bullpen, please, front office. Edgardo Henriquez. Will Klein, listen, I love the dude, hero stuff. Hopefully they found their next version of an Evan Phillips type of stuff because, the numbers are there. The stuff looks nasty, but there's also all of those numbers on his Baseball Reference from before he pitched a few games with the Dodgers. So those carry a little more weight for me. And my guy, the love of my life, Kyle Hurt, him being back and healthy.
I need me some Kyle Hurt.
Yeah.
He is you want to talk about pure stuff. Watching Kyle Hurt on a mound is so much fun. So
I love this, by the way.
He's healthy and ready to go.
Yeah. I love this, by the way, from Swollen Sausage. Wrobleski might be a future closer. I think he's got closer stuff. I think he's got mentality. The way he told bitch-ass Jimenez, go sit the fuck down. No sexy. That was sexy. I messed up.
One of the stupidest interactions in baseball history.
It was absurd. It added to the je ne sais quoi of that World Series. And hey, mentioning again, or probably diving a little more into it. Ken says Enriquez when we mean Henriquez, Edgardo Edgargo. If you're nasty, like dude has just absolutely gross stuff as well. Like, get that fastball, you can dot that to go off of that slider, which is sneaky gross. Again, there's a lot of very good to this bullpen, and
they're going to use it as a tryout. So the 9 guys or 8 guys they end up taking with them into the postseason are gonna hopefully they'll be the best and the healthiest version of this. And if you're telling me of all of these names, and there are a lot of them, that we're going to take the 8 best or 9 best, that's a really good looking group.
Give me competition like this every single day of the week. David in the chat, Bobby Miller, pretty much saying Bobby Miller doesn't got that hashtag mental toughness. He doesn't have the mental makeup to be successful at the big league level. I agree. He is a guy. That is a perfect example of a dude lacking mental toughness right there. And you know what? I hope he's taken the offseason to work as a reliever and be mo better at it, because he's got a chance somewhere. It's probably not here, but this spring training will be a showcase for him, because he's going to get a lot of innings. He should get a lot of innings. Don't take a comebacker off the old noggin. That would be another pro
that was
suggestion.
brutal. I forgot about that.
Yeah, felt bad for him off of that. We got a super sticker that is just words for us here on the software, but 99 cents from our friend Swollen Sausage, who gave us a hot dog. We always appreciate a hot dog. I went to Portillo's last night and had too many hot dogs, if I'm being honest. We got the Portillo's over here, and not terribly far from me in the Buena Park, and yeah, we did that.
Nice.
I got away from super chats as well, and now they are somewhat out of context because we aren't talking about power rankings anymore. But $10 from our friend, everybody's favorite Kevin. This is even Kevin Skinner's wife's favorite Kevin Uhas, saying the Dodgers have better fundamentals over the Mets. The Mets can't rely on a 1-year deal from Bo Bichette, who plays bad defense, and aging Marcus Semien, and bad routes from Juan Soto. Yeah, listen, there's a reason Mets aren't my number 2. I think they have a lot of questions. Soto's not a good outfielder. This we know. Bo Bichette isn't a good shortstop. Why is he going to be a good third baseman when he's never even touched the position? And Marcus Semien needs to figure some things out. Definitely needs to figure some things out. Like, also, I love the whole thing. Him like being asked about. John Heyman asked about this. Is only a 1-year deal, and him just like, please help, please help. That was so good. Richie 499 earlier in the chat. For a guy like Jeff,
195 short.
Yeah. That should say 200, of course, because hashtag mental toughness, hashtag man of his word. For a guy like Jeff, who holds up his nose on mental toughness, he had it on full display. Of course, enduring. So best word for it, the voicemail. See Jeff working. Machado will always be the San Diego failure. Yeah. He.
I mean, he's been good for them.
He's been good, but he disappears in the big moments. He really has over the course of his career, even with the Dodgers in the World Series in the postseason. Longest single I've ever seen, man. That homer that wasn't a homer that hit off the wall.
He's not Johnny Hustle.
Oh, what a piece!
All-time horrible.
What a piece of work. We got $1.99. We got some Lance Lynn love here from Noah Ortega. Lynn wearing number 35. The disrespect, Cody Bellinger's. Hey, no, the disrespect to Gavin Stone. That's where we're really at. We got 99 cents sticker that says a salt shaker. We love salty wieners here on All Dodgers, don't we?
Excuse me?
Just go with it, man. Kevin Uhas asking this, is Rojas healthy enough? I thought he hurt himself in the World Series, or was that not severe enough to be out for opening day? Yeah, he's, by all intents and purposes, he is happy, he is healthy, he is a fit boy and good to go for opening day, for World Series, and all that kind of stuff. That I think it was just one of those things. He was kind of day to day, and the fact that they were able to, get him back on the field for Game 7 with some treatment, he's fine. He had a whole offseason.
Toradol's a hell of a drug.
Gadez said, I've got one of my last 8 super chats read. I don't, we always read the super chats. That one, I don't know. I'll have to go back and check the tape.
Talking about other shows? Because, yeah, I've only seen the one from him today.
Yeah, I've only seen, that's the first time I've noticed one, but listen, they're different. They're different from, what am I looking for? These shows are different from Jeff. Jeff sometimes forgets about the chat because he gets lost. So blame him.
He's
I blame
a man
him.
of many words.
He's not here, so I blame him. What else are we looking at here? I think there's not too much else. I mean, we do have a voicemail from Noah. We could hit Noah, not physically, and then we could sign off from here. How about we do that? Let's go ahead and bring Noah in. Hold on, I gotta fix the screen here. Come on, do the thing. I gotta turn it back to a 2 screen. But either way, I'm gonna play Noah as I fix things.
Well, what up, guys? It's Noah, as you know. I gotta say, guys, with these past few weeks talking about Kyle Tucker and position players, I was thinking about it yesterday. What about the bullpen, guys? Not so much the players, but like how are we gonna fit all of them? Because Robleski did amazing in the World Series, but if we re-sign Evan Phillips and Brock Stewart comes back from injury, and we just signed Diaz, and unfortunately Scott was not in the postseason last year, so we're going to have to add him to the 26-man roster. So I literally have no idea where Robleski, Kasperius, and other relief pitchers are literally going to fit, because it's going to be messed up if we send Robo back to AAA. He has nothing else to prove there.
Yeah.
So, like, what are we going to do with all these? And then we got to give River Ryan, Gavin Stone their opportunities to start. So, I'm a bit worried that we're going to be packed. Hopefully we trade soon. Anyways, that's all I have to say, guys. But as you know, fuck the Dodgers CN parking lot. Fuck Mike Shildt. Fuck Manny Machado. Fuck Fernando Tatis Jr. Fuck Jose Altuve. Fuck Carlos Correa. And on top of that, guys, fuck the Ghost Runner. See ya!
Appreciate Noah calling in. Yeah, it's funny. I didn't know. No, had I looked, I would have played that before we started talking bullpen, because listen, give me all those good questions. Give me all those good problems to have for this team. You know, again, I asked the question: is bullpen going to be good, volatile, or in between? It's going to be good. The floor,
it'll be good. And thankfully, to Noah's question, this stuff kind of figures itself out. It always does. 100%. Somebody gets hurt or whatever, something happens. We do this. We do the song and dance every year. You can set your watch to it. Oh man, they got so many pitchers, and then everyone's pets' heads start rolling off and whatever. So they'll figure it out. Trust me.
As long as it can figure itself out early, and then or pets' heads fall off early, and then they get reattached by September.
The timing of the pets' heads falling off is very crucial.
Yeah. I do also strongly agree with Robleski needs to be in that bullpen. Like if it's gun to head, Bonda over Robleski, give me Robo every single day of my life right now.
Yeah, right now.
And I really like Anthony Bonda. I know that the Tortas are going to be upset about that with Bonda being gone, because he's an icon.
He literally signs with all 29 other teams.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like he's going to be out of work for long.
No, he would be with literally every club. He would not make it through waivers. He's not going to magically end up in the system if he leaves. He would absolutely. Kevin killed the Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, you messed it up a little bit. It's all good. It happens.
I wasn't.
Pets' heads are falling off. Yeah, you were. It was an alliteration of it, I guess. Not an alliteration.
Yeah, I was.
You were borrowing.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, loosely borrowing. I could do dogs, cats living together in masses. We could go with
Ghostbusters.
Animal House. We could do that too.
It's true what they say. This man has no dick. Great, one of the greatest Ghostbusters lines of all time. BC says Bonda not going anywhere. Beg to disagree.
Yeah, not Animal House. Ghostbusters. Jesus.
Yeah, Animal House.
I was thinking Kevin Bacon screaming "All is well" before he gets trampled by the crowd.
American hero, American legend. Cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria. That is a Bill Murray, sir.
That's Bill Murray.
Yeah. I think that's about it. We're talking in circles with some of the stuff here, but Dodgers good, other teams not as good. I love this from Raul to send us off $4.99 super chat. Those teams in your power rankings. I don't see the power of friendships on any one of them. Dodgers 3P. That's right. You got the power of friendship here. You got the power of friendship and inability to sign free agents in Toronto. Take that back. They did sign Dylan Cease so far this offseason. I really like what he's going to bring up there. But Dodgers in a prime spot, guys. It's fun. Dodgers better than all of the other teams in baseball combined. Yankees are better than what the Enigma thinks. I don't know why he got the Orioles in there. I just wanted to throw that in there. Last minute slam.
They signed some people and traded. They got Logan O'Hoppe or no?
That's Angels.
Taylor Ward. No, they
yeah.
traded. They traded.
Taylor
Their pitcher.
Ward, not Logan O'Hoppe.
Yeah, whatever.
Logan, happy. Sammy Boy Smith wants a prediction show. We'll do that. We're going to have that coming up at some point. The boys will have their annual predictions probably sometime shortly before the season starts, because that's what we do. Either way, guys, we appreciate you hanging out with us on this Saturday edition of the show. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for hitting that like button and subscribing to the channel. If you haven't done it already, make sure you do it now. It really helps the channel out. Sharing the video, commenting in the live show, but also commenting after the fact on the video does help us out as well. And that whole YouTube algorithm, we're always fighting the algorithm gods on the YouTube. You know how it be. But thank you to FanDuel for presenting the show. Thank you to Bleav Network for being our friends. If you're looking for a different way to also support the show, check out patreon.com/realfrg, where some of the idea for today's show came from as well, talking, expanding on the power rankings. Or click the join button here on YouTube. On YouTube, you get access to like the stickers and emojis and things that we can't properly show on the screen, but you still get them. All that kind of stuff. That's about it. I think we say bye now, so bye.
Bye.